Chapter 8, Passing on Skills. Zhang Xiaofan. A loud shout, sweet in tone yet ear-piercing. Zhang Xiaofan woke up from his dream, opening his eyes only to see a wide mouth with 2 rows of sharp teeth looming before him, startling him into a loud cry. Giggling ... double quotes laughter came from behind. Zhang Xiaofan finally regained his composure and realized it was a large yellow dog, about half the height of a person, with shiny yellow fur, lying on his bed. Behind the yellow dog stood Tianyin in a red dress, tightly fitted, laughing heartily. Zhang Xiaofan sneakily glanced at the large dog, seeing its massive body, sharp teeth, and a long tongue hanging out, looking quite fierce. He had never seen such a big dog before and felt somewhat afraid. Yet, seeing Tianyin's smiling face, he timidly asked, "Senior sister, what's going on?" "What's going on?" Tianyin smiled and said. Then, suddenly her expression turned serious, furrowing her brows, and loudly exclaimed, "It's already bright outside, and you're still asking me what's going on. Hurry up and get up. We're going to the mountain together to cut bamboo." Zhang Xiaofan was stunned, asking in surprise, "Are you going to?" "Of course," Tianyin replied. "As disciples of the sect, we have to go up the mountain to cut black segment bamboo for the first 3 years after entering the sect. I started when I was 10, and this year is my last." "Hey, are you still lying in bed?" Zhang Xiaofan quickly responded, cautiously bypassing the large dog and getting out of bed from the other side, hurriedly putting on his clothes. Tianyin shouted, "Catch," and threw a hatchet over. Zhang Xiaofan caught it with both hands, seeing it was an ordinary hatchet, but quite heavy in his grasp. "Ready?" he asked Tianyin. "Senior sister, should we call senior brother to go together?" Tianyin gave him a scornful look. "Didn't you hear me say that only newly entered disciples have to do chores? Right now, it's just you and me going to cut bamboo. Let's go." Finishing her sentence, she gestured, and before Zhang Xiaofan could react, the large yellow dog on the bed suddenly stood up, jumped down, wagged its tail, barked twice at Zhang Xiaofan, showing its teeth menacingly, then ran out. Zhang Xiaofan found it familiar. He recalled hearing barks yesterday when he returned with senior brother. It seemed it was this large yellow dog. He couldn't help but think, the Azure Cloud Sect is impressive, even casually raising a dog. It's much bigger than those in our village. Following Tianyin out of the room, Zhang Xiaofan saw that it was still early morning, with mist lingering in the distant mountains. The two of them, along with the dog, headed towards the back mountain of the Great Bamboo Peak. Yesterday, Zhang Xiaofan was carried by Song Darren to the hill, feeling that they arrived quickly. But today, halfway through, he realized the slope was getting steeper, and the journey was much longer than he imagined. On the other hand, Tianyin, without using the amber and vermilion ribbon today, walked effortlessly, her petite red figure swaying lightly along the mountain path. The large yellow dog, needless to say, ran back and forth, sometimes darting ahead, sometimes trailing behind, occasionally disappearing into the woods by the road. After a while, rustling could be heard, and it emerged from another direction, appearing lively and excited. After walking for half an hour, Zhang Xiaofan was exhausted, panting heavily, his legs aching, feeling extremely tired. Walking ahead, Tianyin looked at his appearance, snorted, and said, "So useless. Take a break." Zhang Xiaofan hurriedly nodded and sat down, gasping for air. The large yellow dog was nowhere to be seen at this moment, and Zhang Xiaofan didn't know where it had gone. After catching his breath for a while, Zhang Xiaofan gradually recovered. Sitting on the mountain path, he looked down and saw the towering Great Bamboo Peak, surrounded by nearby mountains, appearing proud and lofty. "Senior sister, I have something to ask you." "I don't know ... double quotes Zhang Xiaofan hesitated, his eyes glancing over. Seeing his hesitant expression, Tianyin's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. Subconsciously, she tidied her hair with her hand, her expression solemn as she said, "Go ahead. Why do we treat cutting bamboo as a chore? I thought chores were all about practicing Taoist methods." Zhang Xiaofan Xiaofan inquired. Tianlinger rolled her eyes. You know nothing? For cultivators, the body is the most important. My mother said if the body is not in good condition, even the most supreme techniques would be difficult to practice. Our Azure Cloud sect originates from Taoism, emphasizing greatly on nurturing health and vitality. When one delves into Taoist practices, the body becomes even more crucial. Take, for example, one of the highest arts of our Azure Cloud sect, the Divine Sword Control Thunder True Technique. Zhang Xiaofan shuddered, his face changing dramatically. Tianlinger wondered, what's wrong with you? Zhang Xiaofan regained his composure, his expression fluctuating, stammering, and nothing. I just feel that the name sounds very powerful and frightening. Tianlinger glared at him. Of course, it's powerful. It's one of the supreme skills of our Azure Cloud sect, and very few can master it. My father said that to perform this technique, one must use oneself as a guide, deploying divine weapons and blades, invoking the 9 heavenly thunders, showcasing unparalleled divine power. It's incredibly formidable. Zhang Xiaofan sighed. Indeed, Tianlinger continued. Think about it. Even though there's a protective technique, the might of the 9 heavenly thunders is incomparable. Once an ordinary person comes into contact, they will instantly turn to ashes. While the practitioner may have profound cultivation, if their body and strong enough, they might be struck down by the heavenly thunder before or anything else. How can they showcase such formidable might? She glanced at Zhang Xiaofan, saying, So, my father asked you to do these chores for your own good, but you're still unwilling. Zhang Xiaofan was startled, jumped up, and hastily said, That's not true. I would never disrespect my master in any way, nor am I unwilling. Oh, I've rested enough now. Let's go, let's go. Finishing his words, he picked up the hatchet, stepped forward, and started walking towards the mountain, surprisingly at a brisk pace. Tianlinger watched his back, smiling lightly, and followed after him. Finally reaching the small hill, Zhang Xiaofan was out of breath, seeing the bamboo forest ahead. Surprisingly, the large yellow dog had already laid down in front of the forest. When they approached, it barked a few times but didn't get up, turning its head away. Zhang Xiaofan was amazed. That was fast. Are you talking about Da Huang? Tianlinger walked up from behind, neither out of breath nor red-faced. Zhang Xiaofan pointed at the big dog. Its name is Da Huang. Yes, don't underestimate it. It's quite formidable, Tianlinger said. Zhang Xiaofan murmured. Of course, looking at its size, it must have been raised for at least 20 years. Tianlinger scoffed. Not even close. Zhang Xiaofan was surprised. It's not even 20 years old yet. Da Huang really grew big. At that moment, Da Huang in front barked fiercely at Zhang Xiaofan. Tianlinger said, I mean, it's not that young. Let me think. It seems like it was already here when 4th senior brother arrived. That's 70 years ago. No, 3rd senior brother mentioned it was here when he arrived. So it's been 97 years. Ah, she suddenly exclaimed, startling Zhang Xiaofan, who hurriedly asked, What's wrong?